Good morning and welcome. We'll start off in any position that feels accessible to you. You can be seated, lying down. Just make sure that you're able to feel relaxed. You're able to feel connected to the ground, whether it's through your feet, through your seat, or the rest of your body. As you take the time to settle in, if you're sitting cross-legged, maybe removing the flesh from underneath your sit bones, allowing your shoulders to relax. Once you found that position that offers you stillness, you feel ready, let's close the eyes. Just take the first few moments, let your body settle in. And letting go of the morning or the day that you've had so far. And letting go of any plans for the rest of your day. Allowing yourself to fully drop into this moment. Dropping into your body. Connecting with your breath. Feeling your thoughts settle down. Allowing your awareness to make its way from being in your head to traveling down into your body, into your chest. See if you can feel the subtle movements that happen with each breath. Feel the expansion of the lungs and chest as you breathe in. Feel the softening, relaxing as you breathe out. Follow the natural rhythm of your breath. You don't have to change your breath or control it in any way. Just let the air travel in and out freely through the body. Let's take a moment to observe how it feels to be inside our body. Noticing your energy level. Noticing any emotional color that you might be feeling. I invite you to meet yourself where you are without needing to change, without needing to ramp yourself up, just meeting yourself where you are and allowing yourself to breathe into that space. This breath is a connection that we have to our bodies, to the present moment. Continue to keep this connection alive. Noticing any time the thoughts wander off. And gently bringing them back to the breath. If you like, you can think of the reason that you're here on your mat. Something that motivated you to get on your mat and practice yoga. If you like, you can turn the reason that you're here into your intention for the practice today. Letting that intention guide you. Coming back to it anytime you find the class getting a bit challenging. Reminding yourself of why you're here. From where you are on your mat, you can start to find gentle movements. And if you feel comfortable doing so with the eyes closed, let's transition from wherever you are on your mat onto your hands and knees into a tabletop position. And really being mindful of each part of your body as you move it, the different muscles that come into play. As you find yourself putting weight on the hands and the knees, just feel that transition. Really feel the weight in your fingers and thumb pads spreading, your palms flattening. Maybe this is the first time today that you've put weight on your hands. Just notice that sensation. Feel the ground, the support of the earth underneath you. Once you've completed the transition, let's open the eyes. Finding your way into a tabletop, fingers spread, palms are flat, shoulders over wrists, and the hips are over the knees. From here, we're going to keep that left hand nice and strong. And on an inhale, open up the right side as you reach that right hand up to the sky. Using the bottom hand to help you twist open the chest to the side, breathing here, maybe switching your gaze upwards. And then on the exhale, taking that hand from underneath your left armpit, reach that hand across the body, going as far as you can, and really trying to get that stretch into the back of your arm, into the shoulder as well, maybe all the way into your rhomboid muscles that pull your shoulder blades together. Keep reaching your fingers as far away from the body as you can. And on the next inhale, open up the chest one more time, reaching high up through your fingers. And then with the exhale, threading the space between your arm and chest and reaching the fingers across again. Keeping that arm nice and long, breathing into the stretch here. On the next breath in, open up the chest again, reaching up through the right hand. And then bringing that hand back down into tabletop. Setting up for the same sequence on the other side. Right hand strong down. Inhale. Open up the chest to the left, reaching up through your left hand. And the exhale. Reaching your fingers from underneath and across, going as far as you can, keeping the wrist, elbow, and shoulder in a straight line. And then opening up, inhale. Fingers reach up. And exhale. Reaching with the hand across. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale, bringing your hand onto the mat. From here, let's bring the knees together and the feet together, coming onto the tops of the feet as you walk the hands back, sitting on your shins for a moment in Vajrasana. And this might feel like a stretch for the ankles. Feels uncomfortable, you can always tuck your toes under and sit like so. But if you're comfortable, letting your shins, letting the tops of your feet take the weight and feel that stretch here. Once you found comfort here, let's take the right hand behind us, staying propped up on the fingertips. Taking the left hand onto the opposite knee. As you breathe in, get a little taller and exhale to twist and look past your right shoulder. Really feel that right arm rotating externally. As you look past the shoulder, letting your hips face forward, letting your chest open up to the side, breathing here. And using that left hand, right leg connection to go deeper into the twist. You want to keep your spine nice and long, head stacking over the shoulders. And from here, start to walk your right hand back and then flatten the palm, bringing weight into that hand. From here, we're going to push into the hand, lift the hips up and lifting the left hand up and reaching the fingers back. Really looking for that space through the front body here, from your knees all the way into the hips and up through that left arm into the fingertips. Keep that bottom hand strong, lift the chest, lift the hips. At the same time, you're twisting, breathing. Lots going on here. Maybe rotating the chest a little bit more to the sky, maybe a bit more to the side, and noticing how that slight shift can change the experience of the pose. Finding what works best for you. And then on an inhale, coming back, setting your seat onto your heels, and coming back to the neutral starting position in Vajrasana. From here, we take the left fingertips behind us, right hand on the opposite knee. As you breathe in, get taller, and breathe out to twist, look past the left shoulder. You want to keep your lower back nice and neutral here. Sometimes we tend to arch the back. You want to keep that spine neutral, lower back lengthening down, top of the head lengthening up. Spine is stacked and long, breathing. Right hand pressing against the left leg to help you twist. Left fingertips giving you support. Steady breath. Fixing your gaze. And then starting to lean back, walking the fingers back and pressing down into that left hand. Make sure the hand feels nice and strong, and then press and lift, reaching with your right hand. This is a great way to stretch out the hip flexors, the front of your thighs, the quad muscles, and even getting into some of the obliques and the side body. Keep lifting the hips higher, keep lifting the chest and rotating your torso to the side at the same time. Breathe into that space, releasing any tension. And then coming back to face forward once again. From here, bring the hands in front of you, sending your legs back, coming into a tabletop. Feet are hip width distance, knees underneath your hips. Once you're in your tabletop, tucking the toes under, we're going to press into the knees, press into the feet and lift the knees off the mat just a few inches, push into the hands and try to fill up into your back body as much as you can. Chin slightly tucked in, spine long, and head is in line with your spine. Feel that low belly pull in. So your body's strong here, it's active. Keeping the knees just hovering a few inches off the mat. Breathing for 3. Strong hands pushing down, 2. And 1. On an exhale, releasing the knees onto the mat. And then with the inhale, right away going into your back bend, arching the low back, draw the belly down, pull the shoulders away from the ears, shifting your gaze forward or up. And then on an exhale, tucking your tailbone down to the floor, rounding into the spine as you push into the hands, chin to chest. Moving at your own pace with your breath, moving inhale into your back bend. And then as you exhale, feel the spine curling, rounding, and filling up into your back body. Cat and cow. One of the foundational movements. I really recommend doing this at least once a day. as it really does help to wake up the spine. Keeping your spine healthy, but also looking to keep the muscles around the spine from seizing up or getting too tight. Continue for a few more breaths here. Feel free to add in any variations that you like. If you like to move a little side to side, getting a little bit more flowy with your movement, totally fine to do that. I'm going to start to come back to neutral. We're going to have the toes tucked under. Walk the hands towards the body as you begin to rise up. We're going to stack the shoulders, hips, and knees in a straight line. Let's bring the hands together at your chest center. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Let your thumbs press into the chest. From here, we're going to keep our hips nice and strong and keep that low belly pulled in. So we're not going to try to arch the low back or tuck it forward. Keep it nice and neutral. Tailbone lengthening down, fingers together. And from here, using your toes as a way to balance yourself, start to lean back, bending from the knees. As you bend from the knees, lean back. And where you start to feel like, okay, that's flat enough, push into your toes. Let's lift back to starting position. Now you'll notice my head, shoulders, hips stay neutral. It almost stays like it's fixed together. The only part that I'm bending from is the knees. And I'm trying to keep my chest open, shoulders back and down. All right, here we go. Leaning back. Leaning back. And then we push into the toes to lift back. Beautiful. Let's do that 3 more times. You can go back as far as you want to. Keep breathing. I like to breathe in on the way back and then exhale to push up. Breathing in on the way back. And lift. Then let's do that one last time. And push back to starting position. From here, let's bring the hands down and we're going to keep fingers spread. And I'd like you to really open up into the shoulders and chest and have your arms reaching back. From here, I'm going to try to lean forward slightly and then pause before this happens. So I'm really going to try to engage my posterior chain, the hamstring is the glutes, to keep myself from going forward. So I'm going to lean forward as far as I can and then come back to neutral. And then lean forward and come back. Again, my hips, shoulders stay neutral. My head stays neutral. I'm just bending from the knees forward and back. And as you lean forward, you'll really notice your hamstrings and glutes are the ones that are engaging and keeping you from falling over. And it's about trying to find the edge of the movement for you. So going just as far as you can before you feel like you're going to tip forward, where your muscles are fully engaged in keeping you upright. And this is one of those movements that it doesn't seem like a lot is happening because your body is barely moving, but there's lots happening internally. It's dynamic. It's building strength and stability. One last time, going forward. And let's come back. Beautiful. From here, we're going to step the right foot forward, coming into a lunge. Let your hips sink down. If you want to take that back knee a little bit further away to give yourself more space in your low lunge, go ahead and do that. Fingers together on the right thigh. Relax the shoulders. Sink deep into the hips. Breathe here. From here, we're going to inhale, reach both arms up to the ceiling, draw the shoulders down the back. I'd like you to grab the left wrist with your right hand. And then on an exhale, folding over to your right side, maybe shifting your gaze up to the ceiling. Just notice how that feels for the neck. Breathe here as you find space in the left side body. Keep driving your hips down and forward. Opening up into the left side, breathing. And as you inhale, come back. Let's switch hands. Grab the right wrist. And on an exhale, folding over to your left. And really feeling that stretch all the way down your right side. The muscles between the ribs, the space between the ribs and the hips. Stretching, breathing, finding your drishti, your focus point. And inhale, come back. Beautiful. From here, we're going to open up the chest as you reach your arms back. Rotate the arm bones externally. Thumbs pointing back, palms are facing up. Look up to the ceiling as you find the gentle back bend with the chest opener. Breathe here, keeping the hips down. and forward. Feel that expanse across your chest from finger to finger. And then inhale as you lift the arms up, push into that front leg, send the seat back at the same time, and then bring your fingertips down onto the floor for support. Flexing those right ankle and toes, your hips are stacked over the left knee, finding a stretch for the back of the right leg. Yeah, maybe a little bit of shaking happening here if your hamstrings feel a little bit tighter. Using your fingertips for support, but also help you lengthen the spine, leading with your chest and chin towards that front foot. And we walk the hands forward as you exhale, coming back into the lunge. From here, we're going to lift up, bring the hands onto the hips, and then I'd like you to step that right foot back. Beautiful. Once you're here, step the left foot forward, coming into the lunge. And we come into the lunge, hips have lots of space. You want to be able to drop the pelvis below the front knee so you can maximize that stretch for the right hip flexors. Let your hands rest for the moment. Once you found your stability, inhale to reach the arms up. Let's grab the left wrist with the right hand, draw the shoulders down the back, and then exhale to start folding over to the right side. Feeling the front leg really stabilizing here, keeping the knee tracking over the ankle. Keep pulling the shoulders down the back, reaching with your left fingers. Inhale, come back, switch hands, and then exhale, folding over to the left side. And you can keep your poses feeling dynamic from within, even though externally you might feel like you're just in a still position, but there's lots we can do internally. Engaging muscles, using the stabilizers. Inhale, come back. And from here, we open up the arms, open up the chest, rotate the arm bones externally, look up to the sky, lift the chest. Feel the space across your wingspan. Try to stretch into that space as much as you can. And as we record this today, it's International Day of Yoga. It's also summer solstice. And as you inhale, push into that front leg. And bring the fingertips down, flexing to the left ankle and toes, scissor into the hips, pulling that left hip back, right hip forward. Breathing into that stretch. Wow, the hamstrings feel tight this morning. And the calf muscles. Really try to pull the toes back as much as you can. Look for that length in your spine. And then walking the hands forward, coming into the lunge. Rising up from here. And then bringing your feet back. Awesome. Using your toe mounts for balance. Shoulders, hips, and knees in a straight line. Hands in the low back. This time we're going to keep the knees more neutral. And I'd like you to find movement in the midsection and the hips here. So using your hands to support, fingers and thumbs zip down, pointing towards the floor, pushing your pelvis forward, lift the chest, coming into Ardha Uttanasana, half camel. Looking to squeeze the elbows closer together behind you as you lift the chest. Breathing here, maybe the head drops back for a couple of breaths. Continue pressing your hips forward. We'll bring the right hand up to the ear. Inhale. Coming out of the pose, exhale. Both hands onto the mat. Round into the spine as you push into the floor. Tailbone tucked forward, chin pressing into the chest. Breathing here. Stay in that rounded back position. Maybe going a little side to side. Maybe back and forth. And then coming back to neutral. As we come into chest openers and back bends today, try to take a moment while you're in the pose just to see how it's feeling. And sometimes when we're in a back bend or a chest opener, it can release some emotions. So again, just kind of maintain that awareness of the emotional state that you're feeling inside, and not about changing it, but just keeping in pace with how you're feeling and maybe how the practice is impacting you today. All right, from here, we're going to one at a time, just step your feet to the top, and we're going to come to standing at the top of the mat. Shake out the legs. Awesome. Feet are hip width distance apart, standing nice and tall at the top of the mat, setting up into your Tadasana. Foundational standing pose. I'd like you to take the time just to lift the toes, spread them wide, lay them back down. So you have increased surface area underneath the feet, giving you more space to stand on. And then just rock a little side to side. Just feel the weight shifting from one foot into the other. And you will get a sense of the weight going into the outer edges, inner edges, from one foot to the other, and really bringing awareness into the four corners of your feet, the front sides of your toe mounts and the back sides of the heels. All right, come back to center. Let's go back and forth a little bit. So into your toe mounts and then into the heels, into your toe mounts and into the heels. And once you've done that a few times and really have an idea of the extremities of your feet, try to come into what feels like a grounded and centered position. So the weight is evenly distributed in all four corners. And I'd like you to really build up your body from the bottom up here. So feel your ankles and feeling your shins. Feel the muscles that support the bones. Feel your knees. Feel the muscles around the knees. Feel the quads engaging as you lift the kneecaps slightly up. Feel the muscles in your thighs, both front and back and sides. Feeling your glutes. Feel the tailbone lengthening down towards the floor. Feel that low belly pulling in. Start to feel your midsection, your torso. And you feel free to keep your eyes closed if you want for this, just to really aid in that visualization. Feeling your belly, your rib cage. Feel the chest lifted. Feeling your shoulders relaxed. Arms are heavy, hanging beside the body. Feeling your neck. And feeling your head stacked on top of the body. And I'd like you to take a moment to try to find some stillness in your standing posture. And this is a great way to train the muscles in your body to support you when you're standing. And you can bring this awareness when you're on the subway, on the bus, brushing your teeth in the morning, in line for food or coffee or whatever you're waiting for when you're standing. Just maybe bringing this awareness, bringing this alignment so you feel strong and tall, aiding your posture. If your eyes are closed, let's go ahead and open them here. We're going to inhale and lift the arms up, bringing the palms together, look up to the sky, bend the knees here. And I'd like you to push the pelvis forward. We're going to come into a standing back bend. If this feels a little too intense, just bring your hands down to your chest center instead, or you can have your fingers reaching up and back, your choice. And here, the more you bend back from the torso, the more you bend forward from the knees, and keep your tailbone lengthening forward. So your core is active here. We're not arching into the spine. Maybe a little bit of shaking going on, breathing, lift the chest, reach your fingers back. And the next breath in, push into your feet, rise up. And then exhale, hinge from the hips, folding all the way down. Standing forward bend, knees are slightly bent, spine is rounded, grab onto opposite elbows, and you can rock side to side, maybe bounce a little, whatever feels good, releasing the low back, lengthening your spine, nodding your head, shaking it side to side. Let your torso hang loose, let the legs do the work. Lots of space in the body, lots of strength in the legs. Coming to find stillness in the center, releasing the elbows on an exhale, and then an inhale, press the hands into the shins, halfway up, flat back. Chin slightly tucked in, spine is long, feet are gripping your mat here, hands pushing into the shins, breathe. Exhale, bend the knees, round the spine. Inhale. And exhale, let's plant the palms from here, stepping your feet back to the mat, coming into a high plank, shoulders over the wrists. Heels over toes. From here, relax the knees. Come onto the tops of the feet. We're going to let the hips dip down, bend into the elbows, and roll the shoulders back. Really feel the shoulders rolling back, opening into your chest. looking forward or looking up, and bring the elbows as close to your chest as you can. Breathing here, spreading across the collarbones, and then start to push into your hands, lift the hips, engaging into the core, pull that low belly in, tucking your toes, exhale, lift the seat, lift the knees, downward facing dog as you look through your thighs. Pedaling into the feet here. Oh, wow. Those calves and hamstrings get tight. Moving the hips from one side to the other. Really great. We're past the halfway point. Let's find stillness and downward dog. On the inhale, sending your right leg up nice and high. On the exhale, bend that knee, swing it forward, plant the foot on the mat. Take your time to complete the transition. Let your knee come to track over the ankle, and the back knee can be on or off the mat, your choice. On an inhale, lift the arms up, find your way into a high lunge. Stabilizing here, scissoring into the hips, back leg strong. From here, come into cactus arm, spreading your fingers wide, open into the chest, elbows squeezing into the ribs here. Look up to the sky. Lift the chest, tailbone nice and neutral. If you want to, you can extend your fingers out to the sides like we did earlier. Straightening out the arms on an inhale, lift the arms up, and I'd like you to cross your right arm over the left above the elbow, and then wrapping your forearms together until your palms or the back of the hands touch. If that's too intense, just grab onto opposite shoulders. Coming into an eagle bind, lift the elbows up and away from your body. Really try to fill into the upper back, draw the shoulders down the back. Elbows at the height of your shoulders, fingers reaching up and away. You can add a back bend here as well. Keep scissoring into the hips, keeping your base nice and strong. Coming into a neutral. From here, we bring that back leg to the front of your mat. Toes together, heels apart. You can stay here if you want to. You can go into a squat if you want to go even further, picking up the left leg, then crossing it over the right thigh. Maybe wrapping the toes around the back of the leg, maybe just squeezing your inner thighs together. Whatever feels good. Breathe, keep that core strong. Low belly pulled in. You guys are doing great. Breathing 3, 2, and 1. Releasing the legs, releasing the arms, and we're back. Shake it out. If you want to grab a sip of water, go ahead. Nice work. Come back to your breath. Notice where it is in the body. And let's see if we can try to send it back down into the belly. Really nice. Once you're ready, we're back into our Tadasana, our mountain pose. Feel your feet. And again, you can build that pose up from the bottom up all the way to the head. As you inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, hinging from the hips, folding forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms. From here, you can step your feet back. You can also hop back and land in chaturanga. Inhale, up into your back bend. Knees up for up dog, knees down for cobra, your choice. Open into the chest, breathe. And exhale, lift the seat, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Spread into the fingers, push into the hands. Let your chest move to your thighs as you look between your legs. Lifting your seat up higher. Tilting the top of your pelvis down towards your toes. And inhale, lifting your left leg up for 3-legged. Exhale to bend the knees, swing that leg forward. Bring the foot between the hands, knee over ankle. Back knee on or off the mat. Once you're ready, inhale the arms up for high lunge. Draw the shoulders down the back. You want to try to keep your center of gravity lower here. So the higher up you are, the more unstable the pose is. But if you drop your center of gravity a little bit lower, our bodies become more stable. So even though it's harder, it does make the pose itself a bit more accessible. From here, cactus arms, spreading your fingers, elbows coming into the sides here as you open into the chest. And then think about really lifting up into your thoracic spine, your chest here, your rib cage lifting, fingers reaching back. Still scissoring into the hips, still lengthening your tailbone down. We're working here. As you inhale, reach the arms up, cross the left arm over the right, wrapping your forearms together, eagle bind on the other side. Stabilize. Shoulders pulling down the back, elbows pulling away from the body. So there's counter movement happening. And you want to feel that stretch across your upper and mid back. So it's your traps, your rhomboids here, those muscles in the back that often get overlooked because we don't see them in the mirror. You're going to try and stretch them out here as you keep lifting the forearms away from the face, maybe adding that back bend. Notice my elbows are lifting away from me. I'm going to come back into neutral spine. If your back knee's down, lift it up and step that back foot to the top of the mat. Whew. Toes touch, heels apart. Squeeze the knees. Sit into a chair if you want to. Utkatasana with an eagle bind. If you want to, add a balancing pose, lifting that right leg. Cross it above the left thigh. Still want to keep your torso upright as if you're leaning back against a wall. Squeeze the inner thighs together. If you're in the balancing pose, keep the palms and fingers pointing up. Breathe and exhale, release. Shake it out. Grab a sip of water if you want. So we're going to start to cool it down from here a little bit. Feet are hip width distance apart. Coming back to your breath. Finding your standing posture. Beautiful. On an inhale, lift the arms up. Palms touch. Exhale, hinge from the hips, folding forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms from here, completing your transition. If you are hopping back, I recommend landing with your elbows bent. But if you're just stepping back, you can from here go into chaturanga on an exhale, inhale into your back bend, and exhale into downward facing dog. Feel free to complete the transitions however you want to, listening to your body. Once you're in your downward dog, take the shoulders up and away from the ears, roll the armpits in to face each other, spread across your upper back, lift the seat a little higher as you push back and down through the heels. Trying to create an upside down V with your body here. Notice my knees are slightly bent, but I'm prioritizing my arms and torso getting as much length as possible. Keep sending your seat back and up. Breathing here, 3, 2, and 1. Really nice. On an exhale, bring the knees down, walk the hands towards the body. We're going to stack up the shoulders, hips, and knees one more time, setting up into half camel. Thumbs and fingers zip together, pointing down, hands on the low back. From here, push the pelvis forward, lift the chest up. Maybe the head drops back. Maybe you want to lower the hands down onto your ankles, rotate the arm bones externally. Full camel, open into the chest. Breathing here. Keep pressing the pelvis forward. Bring the left hand up to the ear as you inhale, climbing your way up. And then exhale to bring both hands onto the mat. Rounded spine to neutralize from the back bend. I hope you're breaking a sweat there. I know I am. Beautiful. And coming back, finding your neutral. Shake out the hands. Bringing the hands together, interlace the fingers. And rotating your wrists. Let's bring the back of the hands together. As you press the back of the hands into each other, feel the stretch through the back of your forearms. Bring the front of your hands together, fingers together, spread them, and then rotating your wrists. Just make sure the wrists and forearms are happy with us. We're not leaving them with tension that's, still there. Shake out the hands one more time. Beautiful. From here, we're going to come into Malasana. So take your feet shoulder width distance. So your heels are roughly underneath your shoulders. Toes are turned out 45 degrees, palms together at chest center. As you sink down, coming into your Malasana. Arms pushing against the inner thighs. Draw your chest forward. Reach your tailbone down. And from here, we're going to close the eyes, bring the chin into the chest. Do some rotations for the neck. On an exhale, take your right ear to right shoulder. Inhale up and across to the left. And exhale down and over to the right. At your own pace. Stretching out the muscles in your neck and your traps. On the upper back as well. Switching sides, going the other way. As your chin passes through the center, pausing, opening the eyes. And let's come out of Malasana, bring the hands behind the body, lower the seat down. Take the feet a little wider, windshield wiper side to side. Awesome. From here, bring the soles of the feet together for Baddha Konasana. Grabbing your feet, turning them up to face the ceiling. Let the knees lower down to the floor, lift the chest. Feel free to close the eyes once again. You can stay upright, you can fold forward, hinging from the hips. You can also butterfly your hips if you want to here. So find what works best for you. Checking in with your breath here. If you're folding, come up on the inhale. Let's let go of the feet. Bring the hands to the outside of your knees. And let's straighten out the legs in front of you here. As you stretch the legs out in front of you, flex the ankle and toes back towards you, sitting in Dandasana. Nice and strong with your chest up. Inhale, reach the arms up. And as you exhale, hinge from the hips, lean forward. If you start to feel your spine around, just bend the knees a little bit and let your hands round wherever they will, or let your hands land where they will, onto your feet, onto the ankles, then using your hands to pull your chest and your chin forward, stretching all the way into your back body. Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. From your heels to your seat, from your tailbone to your shoulders. And breathe into that space. You can let your head drop back here if you want to. Easy breath, relaxing the muscles in your face. Pulling the toes back towards you as you push the heels away. And starting to release and walking the hands back. Beautiful. From here, let the hands go behind the body, fingers facing forward. Bring the feet together, point the toes, push into the hands, push into the heels for Purvottanasana. Reverse plank, lift the chest, lift the hips. The head can drop back. And exhale to bring your seat down. Awesome. From here, we're going to lower down onto our forearms. We're going to set up for a more advanced back bend here. And if you want to skip this and go into something else, you're totally welcome to do that. We're going to come into fish pose here. So we'll set it up together and we'll take it as far as we want to. So you want your feet together, toes pointed. I'm on my forearms, my elbows are underneath the shoulders and the palms are on the mat. From here, I'm going to lift the hips and just walk my hands underneath my body so that the sit bones can come to land somewhere on the back of the hands. And I'm going to bring my elbows a little bit closer as well. So bring the elbows as close in as you can. So it's a nice big chest opener. And this part should be accessible for pretty much everyone. And then from here, we'll start to take it a little bit further. Now, please listen to your body here, especially any pressure on the head and neck. Always be super careful. So we're going to start to now think about our forearms like tracks on a railway, and your sit bones are going to travel on the tracks, okay? So I'm gonna start to lift my chest and my head drops back. Now, as I lift my chest, I start to move the seat back. My seat stays on the back of the hand and then coming onto the wrist and the forearm until the top of my head ends up landing on the mat. Now, again, notice here, I'm not feeling a lot of weight on my head here, and that's what you want. You want the seat, the elbows to be taking most of the weight. You want your chest to be lifted, as primarily the pose here is to be a back bend and a chest opener. It's not a headstand. It's not meant to put pressure on the head and neck at all. Okay, so notice I can speak, I can breathe. So listen to your body. If you want to, if you feel comfortable here, you can lift your legs as well. Maybe one at a time, maybe both legs. Strong point in the toes if you are lifting your legs. And then to come out of the pose, bring your legs down, lift the head, bring your chin into the chest. As you release your back down, lift the seat, take the hands out from underneath. And to release from that back bend, bring the knees into the chest and wrap the arms around the shins, tucking into a tight ball, neutralizing from that back bend. Really nice work. Let's bring the head and shoulders onto the mat. Let the arms rest beside the body, palms down, and begin to push up through the heels. A gentle inversion here. If you want to go further, feel free to lift the seat up, going into shoulder stand if you prefer. If you want to, from shoulder stand, reach your legs back behind you for plow. Once your feet land, think about lifting your seat, pushing back through the heels, releasing the mid back here. After all the back bends we've done, if you are able to come into this position, it's a great way to release. And then to come out of the pose, lifting your legs back up. And then with control, bringing your spine down. And we'll finish things off with a spinal twist. Open the arms beside you into a T, palms face up, knees together. On an exhale, draw the knees over to the right side. You can continue looking up, or maybe look towards your left hand. You can take the right hand, place it on the left leg to deepen the stretch a little bit. Keeping the backs of your shoulders on the mat and breathing into the side body. Nice and easy here. Really great work. On an inhale, lift the knees back up. As you exhale, over to the other side. Left hand on the right leg. Switch the gaze if you want to. And if you like to close the eyes, it's perfectly fine as well. Inhale, pulling your knees back. Wrap the arms around the shins, coiling up like a spring, getting as tight in the body as you can, squeezing the muscles, scrunching up the muscles in your face. And really hold that tension for a couple of breaths. And then on exhale, go ahead and release it all. Let your body uncoil. And then taking up space on your mat and around it. Let your feet go wide. Let the outer edges of your feet roll outward. Open up the arms beside you, palms face up. That helps to open the chest. Once you found comfort and stillness, feel free to close the eyes. If you want to make any adjustments or modifications, please go ahead. Let your Shavasana feel as comfortable for you as it can. And once you're there, the eyes are closed. Just take a moment to acknowledge the fact that your practice is complete for today. Everything that you had to do, pushing yourself, you've already done. Now you can let those benefits sink in while you rest in Shavasana. letting your breath and heartbeat slow down, softening the muscles in your forehead, around the eyes and cheeks, loosening up your jaw, letting your tongue go slack. As you soften the throat, melting into the arms and shoulders, relaxing into the length of your spine, and releasing the lower back, the hips, finding support for your legs as you soften into the backs of the knees, relaxing the ankles and toes, relaxing the wrists and fingers. Starting to find your way back to your breath. Letting your awareness come back into the body. Feeling those subtle movements with every breath. And starting to introduce movement into your fingers and toes. As you feel your body coming back from stillness, let that movement travel towards your center, through the ankles and wrists, through the arms and legs. Feeling your whole body waking up. And maintaining a sense of ease and relaxation in your movements. There's no rush at all. Drawing the feet together, pointing your toes, reaching the arms overhead, and getting as long in the body as you can. Inhale to stretch a little further. And exhale to settle into that space. Feeling all the space that you've created in the past hour, taking it with you into your day and beyond. From here, bringing the left hand onto the belly, bend the knees, turning over onto your side. Maybe pausing here for a moment, reflecting on your practice, on your intention if you set one. And when you're ready, coming up into a comfortable seat, keeping the eyes closed if you feel comfortable. Bringing the palms together at chest center. Let's take a moment here as you complete this transition and just notice how you feel. Noticing any changes from when we began the practice today. Checking in with your breath, with your internal state. And may this connection with yourself be a part of your day and beyond. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice. Namaste. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.